Welcome, board game soloists, to Top 5 Solo Games. I'm J. Allen Riker, horror author and board game fanatic. And today we are going to do an unboxing of a game that I have been waiting for a very long time to get my hands on. Not because the Kickstarter took an inordinately long time to arrive. I think it arrived in a timely manner, but because I missed out on the first edition. And so I have been really wanting it since, and luckily they did a second edition. It's not just a second printing, it also came out with expansions, and I think that the designer tightened up some of the gameplay, responding to some of the critiques of the game. And that game is Dark Venture. It's so funny how I just pretended like you don't know what this is when it's going to be on the thumbnail or nobody's going to watch it. J. Allen Riker unboxes mystery game. Anyway, let's get into this. I'm super excited to get this on my table. I just played Ashes Reborn Red Rains. It really took me a while. So I'm excited to get something new onto the table, and it's going to be this. Okay, so I didn't go for the all-in. I went a la carte, but I got almost everything. I know that, so I didn't get the cassette tape dungeon. Don't have a cassette tape player, and it didn't seem like the right value for me. So this is the original game, I think second editionized. So this is a game by Robert Lemon. So I missed out on the first printing of this. I got into Robert Lemon's games with Dark Venture, Battle of the Ancients, which I really, really like. Look at how compact this is. This is a ton of stuff, but he makes his games in this compact form factor that I just adore. I recently said in another video that Dungeon Universalis is like my lifetime full-fledged dungeon crawler, but I'm going to get the various dungeon crawlers that have a unique twist, that have something else that pulls me in. For Robert Lemon with Dark Venture, it's his art style and his world creation, because it's not just the art that's weird. It's when you get into some of the stuff that's on the cards, it is odd. These factions are weird, and I am here for it. So I got Vile Invaders, which is an expansion that bulks up just the basic content of the base game, is my understanding. I got Dark Venture Khrag Pit Arena. So this adds an arena battler. It has a second board, I guess, folded up in here, and adds a new standalone game mode, Battle to the Death. Sign your death waiver to enter the pit, earn prizes, and defeat vicious gladiators. Will you emerge from the Khrag Pit Arena victorious? So you can add the cards to the base game, but then it comes with its own mode also. And yeah, I said on the back it has its own board, and it folded up in this little box. And then Crawl. Now, I didn't get Crawl. I had to go back and add it in the Pledge Manager. But when I saw the development that was being done on it, and how it kind of had, I believe it kind of created a more roguelike experience, and a little smaller experience, and it's definitely purposefully made for soloing, I had to grab it. So this is what we're going to be unboxing today. Obviously, we're going to start with the base game. So let's just take a look. Dive into the darkness. Construct a twisting narrative while exploring a dystopian future with a unique hero, completing quests to win the game. My understanding, what I seem to remember reading, the first edition wasn't necessarily great solo. It really was intended as more of a head-to-head competition. But I think that has been improved upon, and I'm willing to take a chance because I loved the solo gaming and Dark Venture Battle of the Ancients. Like, I can't believe how different those factions are and yet how easy they are to run from the AI cards. So, and I love the art. One thing I don't love, literally the only thing I don't love, is these teeny tiny books. And we'll see if the printing is this small. But I know that some people in my audience can't play his games because the printing is so small and the board and the instructions are so compacted together with no space. We'll see. So, I love the fact that the boxes are small, but the instructions aren't even built out to the dimensions of the boxes. That's like literally, though, that's it. These games are typically an incredible price. He makes them just packs them full of stuff, even though you're not paying the premium price that you would expect. It's beautiful. It's clearly a passion project. It's totally unique. And you get different images on each side of these boxes, which is great because these are some of the ones that I have upstairs, my Battle of the Ancients. And I'll turn it to different sides to show off the different art. Okay, so quest point track. Little player or the deck board. So here's the timer. So this tracks your points. I'm guessing that has something to do with your win condition. But then this tells you how much time you have. We got a reference card with a setup reference. Oh, I forgot these are dual layer. I tell you what, this is one of my favorite deluxifications. I bump the table way too often, and my table is getting kind of a narrow, you can't see it, but over here to the left, it's a narrow corridor just squeezed through here. So my table does get bumped sometimes. I love the dual layer boards. Now this thing is pretty tightly packed. We'll see. It was not hard to get the other one back in the box, but if this is, then I honestly don't need 4 boards. So I can pack those away. We have some tokens. I'm not sure if these are 25 millimeter or not. They look maybe a little bit small. 25 millimeter is good for fitting into coin capsules, but I mean, I have no idea if these are the sort that you'll wrestle through where you would need that. Oh, and also these need to fit in these slots. So yeah, they're not going to be going into any coin capsules. I got the wooden tokens for Dark Venture Battle of the Ancients, and that's really nice. That I like coin capsules or tokens, although I think that those might be a little bit small for the 20 or 25 millimeter kind. But I will say that with Dark Venture Battle of Ancients, you stack the token or those tokens a lot, and if they were in plastic, I think they would slip and slide. Hey, you got some standees. So I guess these are all playable. Oh man, this guy I believe is a shopkeep. Eggman. I just love his art style. It's so I love this acid dungeon look. Cards, I think, are what those are called, if I remember correctly. Okay, so these are your gods, the ancients. So the ancients give you special abilities in the Battle of the Ancients as well. Once your faction or the enemy faction reaches a certain threshold, they can call on favors from their gods. So here we have Mantis Martyrus, the Ancient of War. Divine power 4 times in the game. After drawing a card, shuffle it back, then draw another. Nice. Carteret, the Ancient of Magic. This lets you reroll 5 times in the game or add +1 dice mitigation. That might be my god. Prime Evil, the Ancient Evil. Create a barrier blocking a passage in and out of a location to all except your hero. Once per turn for 1 AP. The player may roll 1d6 to pass through the barrier for the game. So unless there's some rule for that to be solo, then I guess I won't ever play this because I don't plan on playing it multiplayer. Orcus Chrono, the Ancient of Time. Divine Power once per game. After you finish your turn, freeze time and take a second turn. Your character can't engage in combat on the second turn. Setter Natus, an Ancient of Nature. Make any aggressive character non-aggressive for the game. Your hero may take a Sarkag Wolf as a follower. Dorigat Celt, Ancient of Death. Once, when one of your characters engages in combat with another character, your character may instantly defeat them. Some good options there. The thing about that I was so pleasantly surprised about when I got Dark Venture Battle Agents is I bought it for the vibes. Okay? Like, I saw how good the art was, and I just felt like it was something that I needed to own. But there was so much smart gameplay in there. So many finely tuned and creative mechanisms with each faction playing so differently and providing this big mix and match like feast where there are even individual heroes that are made that you can play them and you can compete with factions, or you can play factions against heroes. It's just great. And so once I played that, I knew I gained a lot of trust in Robert Lemon's game design abilities. And I decided this was a game I had to try out for myself. Okay, so follower dashboard on dual layer. Very nice. And once again, 4 of them. So that's something that I can store away. Okay, so here are the teeny tiny little So it's got location guide A and actions A, location guide B and actions B. And depending on the size, okay. I mean, it's not ideal, but it's not the smallest ever. I think it's a little bit more spaced out than Battle Agents. I'm not sure about that. So here we have the core rulebook, including a quick reference I always appreciate, and got a core game components list, and then some, I guess, some frequently asked questions. Additional solo and cooperative game rules can be found later in this guide, page 20 to 22. So the solo definitely has its own experience. You can see that it does use a very tight layout and small font to make this very small rule book. I'll show it to you beside so it's basically twice the size of a playing card. See how it fits on there. I wouldn't have minded seeing it the size of the whole box, but that's my only complaint. So that's the last time I'm going to mention it. I don't want to harp. Location guides. So these are spoiler alert sort of situations. You've got your iconography, and I don't want to read these because these are about the different locations on the cards. And actions, individual actions. So look up solo version of an action marked with that. So there are some actions that are not soloable, they're for multiplayer games, and they've got alternatives. Wonderful. Okay, so I'm going to grab one and read it at random. There's no way that I'll remember it. Action 25, draw an item and place it into the inventory of the first player's hero or follower. Who enters this location, they drop another item if necessary. Someone has seen what your character has found and they want it. Place a Varpin in the character deck, if available. Equip and place them in this location, then shuffle. Okay. That's some custom dice. That's always fun. They're just your standard 6 sides, so it's not necessary, but they're very nice. They've got a skull on one side. Got some standees. I've got some standees that I prefer to use most of the time, but these look good. I might use these. Sometimes I'll add them to just my grab bag of standees to save space in the box. That is a tight fit. Standard wooden cubes, different colors. Oh, I think this guy, the Great Khrag or something, was a Kickstarter exclusive, I believe. You know what? This whole game is kind of Kickstarter exclusive. I think it might have been a stretch goal. I'm not sure. Okay, so inside the box, it's got a nice little back form storage system, which actually is one that is laid out in a way that I will use it. It is space efficient. And you can see it's got some little cards, some side quests down there. Here's a hero. Okay, so let's take a look. Now these games, have lots of little tiny, dungeon crawlers have lots of little decks. That's why the Dungeon Dive made that card organizer, the same one that I use, made that famous, because you've always got a ton of little tiny decks. Okay, so here are your heroes. Princess Bretta. The Plant Man looks like he's a really heavy hitter. Says what they wear. Tactical vest, red solar cape, holds a golden sword, a metal shield, and Torgon's Edge. Has special abilities. He has regeneration and fibrous body. She has royal privilege. Haglor the Ghostly. Okay, so these are your heroes. Oh, Bill Kid the Strong, very heavy hitter. Eggman, Elite Warrior. So these are your monsters. Oh, maybe they're followers, actually. The horse is a follower. Lethal Wanderer. Now, most of these are monsters. Sarkhag Wolf. Rain, the Dirt Twin. Varpin, Epic Soldier. Lurking Troll. Gigantic. All damage it takes is reduced by 3. I believe that's this fellow right here. Okay, then you've got, so those are your heroes and your monsters. Here you've got your equipment, some different shields, solar staff, hammer of the Burnlands. A lot of character in the art, even of the items. Mervin's stabber. Dirt Twins sword, leather body armor, medical pack, crystal helm, golden bow, barking stick, spear, gorgonberry tonic, foxbone tincture, so you got some potions in there too. Divided up into armor, weapons, potions, and I think items, maybe. I don't know. Some more items here. But the only thing about this super compact nature is that it is not made with the empty space in it to put everything in it. I still have my expansion boxes for Dark Venture Battle of the Ancients. I might have gotten 3 of them and kept only 2 of the expansion boxes, but I mean, it's nice to not freight over a bunch of empty air. So a bunch more consumables, rotting fish, more armor, egg armor, painful fit. The spikes on the inside of this armor make it difficult to put on. When characters that are not Ovoid faction choose to equip this item, roll 2d6. If 2 through 7, the character takes 2 damage. Roll again. If 8 through 12, the armor is equipped. Yikes. Die putting on your armor. Tactical vest, so that's what Princess Bretta wears. Okay, I don't want to look through every single one of these, so survival knife. Rambo right there. Rambo blade. Okay, so here we have our locations. Precipice Lighthouse, the Laboratory, Gargan's Clearing, Ominous Tower. I've seen these in the maps, some of these in the maps on Battle of the Ancients. Bilkid's Pond. These are all numbered, so that's nice. Oh, they're not all numbered. Some of these are numbered, I believe, for locations in the book. They are all numbered, but some of them don't have the green number, which would be a description of the book. Diamond Mine, Plant Man's Castle. Okay, here are some quests where you get your quest points. So to move up your quest point track. Cool. Just take a look at the top one. Royal Plunder. The thieving Eggman wretch has stolen an item that has sentimental value to the king. After the next Eggman is played, draw 1 extra item. That is the king's stolen item. And place it into their inventory. If it is weapon or armor, the Eggman can equip it, but they cannot consume or destroy it. If your hero kills this Eggman, gain 3 quest points. Have your hero bring the stolen item to the crossroads, then discard it, sending it to the king for an additional 3 quest points. Cool. A lot of quests. That's a nice big stack of quests. I like that. Okay, and it looks like we've got some extra tracking cards. I don't know if that's... There's a health track on these boards, so my thought is that maybe this is for a different version, like a one that's not premium. If there's one coming. Oh, and there's the crossroads, the number 1 location. Okay. Take a look at these 4 game-sized cards, mini cards. Stop the aggression. Defeat an aggressive enemy in combat, gain 1 QP. So these must be things that you randomly draw, and then they add little objectives for you. I like that. Here, trade 1 item with another character. Okay. We've got a bunch of those. So far, really liking the look of the game. All right, so I think it makes sense that the first one we look at is the expansion to the base game. This the content expansion, Vile Invaders. New adventures. The Vile Invaders expansion adds over 70 new cards to the Dark Adventure core game. Explore an exotic island, crashed spacecraft, and a raging waterfall with all new heroes. Collect resources to craft and upgrade items, battle against enemies like the shapeless Bomer and the devious Eggman wizard to complete a new set of heroic quests. Defeat the invaders and venture even further into the darkness. If I remember correctly, the Bomerk are the slime faction, and they consume their enemies and multiply. I think breaking up once they've reached critical size. Okay, Vile Invaders. You know, I'm not normally one to buy all the expansions with the first game, but I did really like Battle of the Ancients, and I'm not I'm not completely holding my breath on a third printing. Hopefully, but okay, so we have Vile Invaders, quick reference, collecting resources, smelting, craftsman, hammer and anvil. So the crafting is new to this. So the Dargon are new here, though I remember them. The Bomer, the Varpen. Crafting items, inventions, resource pile, crafted item piles, collecting resources. At any location, multiple items, if desired. For one action point each time, a player-controlled hero or their follower can attempt to collect a resource by rolling 2d6 plus luck. If the roll total is 10 or higher, a resource is drawn from the pile. Okay, it's got new actions. It's got the locations, location descriptions, and expansion. Here's some standees for some new heroes. In Monsters 2, I'm assuming that these aren't playable. I think these are the Bomer, but maybe they are. These are the Vorpen, if I remember correctly. Got a boat. Here are some more side quests. No point in opening them, so I'm not going to read them. Some more heroic quests. We'll open these to see if there's anything else below it. One day you're going to see me slice right through my hand. I know you're waiting for it. Okay, so your extra quests. That's a nice little chunk of new quests. Some of the stuff for crafting with ore, wood, water. You know what? There's this sort of crafting in Battle of the Ancients. So he's bringing concepts back and forth between the games. Neat. Metal. You know, I can play a dungeon crawler like 4 Against Darkness and be perfectly happy with, especially I play on the adventure cards, and the adventure cards basically don't have any art on them. The only images of the room that's listed on it. I can completely imagine it, and it's very fun, but it is also fun to have a game like this with awesome, unique art that does help to, you know, immerse you. So these are your new heroes. Of course, the weird. These are monsters. Or Bomerk Glut, Bomerk Slog. Growth at the end of the next round or whenever possible after, draw a Bomerk Terror to replace this slog. Oh, the Bomerk Terror. You can see an absorbed victim. Dargon Collector, Ether Rider, Egg King, Pale Horse. Here's another hero, Iraq the Feared. That looks like a good one. Very fast, very punchy. Not very lucky. Harvest Spade. So this is for crafting and gathering. That seems to be a lot of what axe pick. Smelting Kiln, hammer and anvil, small animal trap, night hatchet. So this actually adds gathering. As gather adds +1 to collecting resources, but also as a weapon. Rowboat. Okay. And here's some new locations. The Dargon Starship Bow. That's embarrassing. Dargon Starship Bow. Dargon Starship Stern. The Bow was the name of a class of their starship or something. Deathbed. Isle Forge. Okay. Isle Crater. Pigman Outpost. Cool. Okay, let's check out Khrag Pit Arena next. I already read the description of this. It's Gladiator Pit. It adds a standalone game mode and a bunch of stuff, 60 new cards that you can add to the core game and the arena map board to the core game. But you can also, I guess this turns it into kind of its own standalone little skirmish type game, separate from the dungeon crawling aspect of it. I don't know if the dungeon crawl has like measured or even grid-based movement. Those locations don't look like they don't have any grids on them. Yeah. But this board does. I wonder how much. This might be more like a meshing of the two systems, Battle of the Ancients and this. Yeah, because this is the same look of the Battle of the Ancients. So here's the Khrag Pit Arena board. Auto enemy actions. I have so this has the full auto enemy actions rules on page 8, and then I guess like kind of a cheat sheet here. I've got full confidence after seeing the way that the AI is run off of a few cards for each of the factions. That's going to be a lot of fun. In fact, I'm going to assume that a lot of this probably comes from Battle of the Ancients, since it uses the grid-based movement. But here are some more monsters. Maybe heroes? I don't know. I would know if I read the back. Or if I flipped through those too quickly. Okay, a few more cubes. So let's standees. Here are some side quest cards. Into the Pit has 3 different items from the Khrag Pit expansion in your hero's inventory to gain 1 QP. You can see it's marked QP right, or KP there for Khrag Pit. Okay, so here we have some followers. I just watched a video about the history of Krunk Core. I can start a new Krunk Core band called Blood on the Board Game after I stab my hand on a D-Day. Not suggesting anybody check out Krunk Core music. Okay, a follower, Turfine Bilsond. A Girthherder? Rag Heck the Brutal. He's heckin' brutal. A Horstus. Oh man, these are great. Just love the art and the names. Aurelian River Beast. Trained Equidon. So here's a hero. Urbon the Shifty. Beldane the Ruthless. Hag Lost Fiend. Oh. Varpin Behemoth. I've got a feeling this is going to be a very fun little thing that I might get to the table more often than the very big Battle of the Ancients. Just play kind of like a mini version. So you've got some gladiatorial looking weapons here. Feldane's sword axe, cut an axe on one side and sword on the other. Very efficient. Guitar, so that's, I don't know if that's how it's pronounced, but that's a real weapon. Gladiator net. So you can take these gladiatorial weapons out into the real world. Enchanted bandages. Gladiator helmet. Gladius. There are a bunch of those. I'm guessing that's kind of what your starting equipment. Rondel, stiletto. These boxes will not hold sleeves is one thing that I'm noticing, which is fine with me. I only sleeve games that I shuffle a lot. If I only shuffle once per game, I don't bother sleeving it. But we'll bother some people. Haverlane's Claw. So this is a weapon and a shield. Leather bracers. Crescent shield. Okay, so here's how you would put the Khrag Pit into the game, because this is the small version of that big board that we just opened up. Khrag Pit Pool. Pocket Dimension. Well, I'm really interested to find out what that's about. Okay, then we have some more weapons and armor and items. Okay, here's some quests. Faction Unity. The Foregone King would like to bring peace to the many hostile factions of Dark Grange. He's inviting various faction leaders to his castle for a diplomatic summit. Okay. These are very wordy little quests here. One last expansion, Dark Venture Crawl. I can't remember if I had to actually pay shipping a second time just for this. I believe I had to pay shipping just for this, but it was just a very small amount, so it probably was factored in as extra weight because I ordered it pretty late and I had already closed my order. The Crawl expansion includes 50 new cards and adds a new solo and two-player game mode to the Dark Venture core game. A mysterious shadow has fallen across Dark Grange. Explore the land, defeating enemies and gathering treasure. Disperse this ancient evil before you succumb to it. So my understanding is, it does have locations. I was thinking that this is like a kind of totally card-based quest where you would just flip over the cards, or card-based game, like card-based quest, card-based mode. I don't know. Something got me worked up and had me add it to the order. Okay. Setup. Add all the crawl, item, location, character, and heroic quest and side quest cards to the corresponding core game decks, then shuffle them. Set up the rest of the game as outlined in the core rulebook. Expansion location rules referenced when an expansion location is played. New locations in core quest when added to the core game is considered a location. Okay. So there's 3 ways to use these components, including the expansion. Add them to a standard Dark Venture game. See integrating crawl. Play a crawl game solo to. Okay, so we gotta check that out. Page 5. Play a full world exploration game. See page 19. That's the one that I was kind of interested in. Standalone crawl game. So you're seeing the game ends if Dorigat Kelt is defeated or at the end of the 12th game round. So it seems like this is maybe just a mini. So this mode is just a mini version of the full game experience. I think that the full world exploration game rules are what we want to look at. Page 19. The object of this solo and cooperative game mode is exploration. It is intended for players who are most interested in experiencing all the location events and actions available in the game. The full world exploration game follows the same setup rules as a standard Dark Venture game, as can be found in core rules. To integrate the crawl expansion, see integrating crawl. Okay, so full world expansion game ends once all available locations have been played, and the location rules and actions of all available played locations have been resolved to the satisfaction of all players. Camp. To accommodate the extended length of the full world exploration game, the following rules have been included that allow players to either reset the day track and resume gameplay, or pause the game, resume at a later time. Okay, so that's pretty cool. If you just feel like playing through and interacting with the mechanisms without a timer. But I don't think that's going to necessarily be the way I play. I don't want to burn through the whole game all at once. I don't know. I think I'm probably going to integrate it. I'm going to have to take a look and see if there's anything, any advantage to be gained from not integrating it immediately. I'll eventually integrate it. Some more tokens. That's all black. I'll use a felt marker to outline ones, especially if they're black bordered or black backgrounded. Like some more heroes. Some more delightfully weird characters. Well, I am really glad that I got this for the exploration rules. We have another stack of side quests and another stack of monsters and locations and everything else. But I think we're going to call it there. Video is probably long enough. If you are still here, post Khrag Pit Arena in the comments. Thanks a lot for watching this. I intend to play it next and get a review out for you good people, as my next review. I'm really excited to give this game a try. It's kind of sad because I'm not buying very many Kickstarters, and these are kind of some of my last Kickstarters are trickling in. But so exciting, to get a new one in the mail. It's so much fun. I know that there are downsides to Kickstarter for sure, but it is nice to get a big sweet treat in the mail. I do also, though, I am getting Game Nerds games when they're on sale, and then those build up in my holds, and then I get to play those. So anyway, that is it for me. Like I said, hope that this was useful. Have a great rest of your day, and keep playing solo.